Hello once again, welcome back to Adventure Camping. Tactical Nut here once again with another knife review. This time I have the Mykel Hawke Harrier. This is the big brother to the one I just did a review on a little bit ago, the Harrier Elite. And when I say big brother, and I mean big brother. Blade on this is 5 1/4 inches long. Blade width is 1 1/4 inches. I mean, as you can see, quite the hefty blade. 1/8 of an inch thick, and 6 1 inch, or 6 1/4 inches closed, 11 3/8 open. That's the overall length. The blade steel is an Aus 8, which, if you know anything about blade steels, or if you don't, I'll tell you. Aus 8 is the Japanese equivalent of the 8CR13 MOV. Which is once again one of your top of the budget steels. It does have his patented flippers here that come out. Once again, I don't ever use this one. I do like using this one. Now I've had this one about as long as I've had the Harrier Elite, but I haven't used it nearly as much. Mostly because Mrs. Tactical Nut decided to kind of confiscate it and claim it because she likes to sleep with it on the nightstand beside her, as a means of, you know, kind of self-defense in an emergency. I've got no issues with that, but I'll tell you what, this blade does a ton. It does have the same end as the Harrier Elite, so you could use that in a self-defense situation as a pummel, or, you know, an emergency situation as a glass breaker. There is no jimping on the rear, which, just like the younger brother, the Elite, I would possibly put some skateboard tape back here, or wish they, you know, kind of made jimping on it, but you do have a little here liner lock. Still, you know, stainless steel liners. Lock up, completely solid, no play front to back, side to side. This one now is pretty fast to deploy for the most part. Kind of hard to do it as quickly. Reaching around a tripod, you can adjust it using the pivot screw. To me, this I take hiking all the time, and all of his knives, even the Harrier Elite, just like this one, they are all meant for hard use, and he intends on you abusing these, and that's the way Mykel Hawke designed his knives, are for hard use. I've used it pretty hard. I've batoned with it, did some chopping with it. Wouldn't highly recommend using this one as much for chopping, but I wanted to give it a shot. And this knife can take some serious abuse. I do have to do some more testing with it, just because, you know, Mr. Tactical Nut likes sleeping with it by the bed. But I'll tell you what, this thing, Tanto point design. The recurve design, just like his survival knife. Everything the same, just as the Harrier Elite. G10 handle scales. Not a huge amount of traction, but just with like the pocket knife, I have had no issues with any kind of traction. Would be nicer to be a little rougher, but this may surprise you, and this is why I don't complain. I got this one for how much? It's $25. For a 5 1/4 inch blade that's 1/4 of an inch thick for $25. Aus 8 steel. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I love this guy. His prices on his material, or his products, are awesome. I mean, you almost can't find blades ever of this quality this cheap. I mean, it's so rare. So it's another reason why I try to tell people, go out and buy his stuff. It does have the stonewash finish. It's extremely durable. It doesn't come off, just like my pocket knife. I mean, it's taken forever to show any wear on it. But once again, the downside is that, good 90-degree spine, just like the pocket knife, but it won't strike a fire steel. So you would have to use the blade. So just for those of you that are avid outdoorsmen and stuff, just something to keep in mind. Definitely not a game changer for me or a deal breaker in any way. Open pillar constructed. Love that as well. you'll see that pretty much all my knives that are pocket knives will come like that. Now this one, I mean, it's a pretty large blade. So as you can see, no pocket clip. Personally, I would actually like to see one here. Just because, for stability reasons, if I'm going to carry it on me, you know, most of the time it's in my pack when I go hiking and stuff, but if I wanted to put it in my pocket, I would like to keep it more stable, because there's been multiple times where I do put it in my pocket, it leans to the side in your pocket, and then it gets to become really difficult to get it out. So I would love to see a pocket clip just for keeping it in one spot, either in a pack attached to some moly webbing, or just to attach to the pocket. But, you know, obviously most people aren't going to carry something this size in a pocket for, you know, everyday carry, because it is kind of heavy. But personally, you know, yeah, I'm not going to carry it as an everyday EDC knife by any means, but I would like to have a way of keeping it more secure. I mentioned in an earlier video, yeah, I did add the lanyard. This is 550 cord, so you can see it easily fits in there. I typically don't put these on knives just because, you know, if it's a pocket knife and it has a lanyard hole, it's in my pocket. You know, it's got a clip that's attaching it to my pocket. I don't need it to get it out. But for this one, mostly just experimenting with paracord lanyard dots. But also, if I was to put this in a pack, it could make it a little easier depending on where it is. But love this knife. Out of box, it was just like the little brother. It wasn't very sharp, or not nearly as sharp as I like. Pretty easy to put an edge back on it though, the one that I wanted. So happy with the new edge on it. So, which is kind of disappointing. The only thing, I mean, to me, any knife, no matter what the price, should come razor sharp out of a box. It's a knife. It's a cutting tool. If it's meant for cutting, it should be razor sharp. But this one wasn't. But like I said, it's a AUS 8 steel, so it's really easy to put an edge onto it, which I did. So don't let that stop you or discourage you. Highly recommend you go out and get one. I consider this more of a tactical folder, just because, yes, this would be extremely easy to defend yourself with. I've actually trained in a way, really hard to do it now, but you know, because I'm trying to reach around a tripod. But what I do is when pulling it out, it's a flip. When it locks out, my thumb instantly opens this, and now you're ready for business. I've done a decent amount of carving and woodwork with this, little bushcraft work. And so it's kind of nice to have this here to keep your hand from slipping up. I love the fact that he puts, or that he came up with these finger guards, because just pocket knives don't have them. They're easy to put away, you know. These seem to work better than the Harrier Elite. And like I said, the Harrier Elite was my second one. For some reason, these do tend to stay more secure. But, you know, not an EDC blade by any means for most people. Camping, hiking, surviving, tactical folder. You still got a wide variety of characteristics and jobs that it can perform. Once again, you're supporting a person that I highly respect and I like to do as much as I can for. So for me, go out, get you one. You'll love it. You'll never be disappointed. And as always, be prepared and have fun.